Hello and welcome back to the technical series. Today we'll be looking at the conventional deadlift. Now, from a functional standpoint, this movement is very common throughout life. We're often picking things up off the floor, and sometimes we'll have to pick heavy things up off of the floor. So our positioning and our mechanics when it comes to this movement is extremely important. Now, something to consider is that there's a few different variations when it comes to your deadlift. There is stiff leg deadlift, where you've got a slight bend in the knee, you're coming all the way down to the floor, and you're biasing more your hamstrings and your glutes. Romanian deadlift, where you've got all of the same positioning, however, there's a restricted range of movement, and you're only coming down to mid-shin. And then we've got conventional deadlift. Now, there's a few variations within that, with different pieces of equipment, but just with regards to the barbell, those are your three variations that you'll find most commonly. Now, with our conventional, we're mostly thinking about our positioning from the floor because that's where the movement starts. Quite a lot of people seem to struggle with this one and can often find themselves having lower back pain after performing this particular exercise. This is either because you've not got it sprinkled throughout your routine often, or because you need to work on your mechanics from the start. Now, for me, the risk to reward ratio when it comes to your conventional deadlift is slightly skewed. I would say you would have to have a particular aim when performing heavy conventional deadlifts, as there's probably other movements that could benefit you more. Like trap bar deadlift, for example, as it has a slight difference in positioning. Through experience, I've found myself and other people, even experienced people, injure themselves quite easily with this movement. So it's just making sure that you're going in with the right intentions, not ego lifting, not going too heavy straight away, making sure that you're building yourself up progressively over time. The same as anything. Okay, let's break down the movement. The same as every single movement, we want to make sure that our setup and our approach is exactly the same. A general guide is that when we come to the bar, we want to make sure that our feet are about hip width. Another tip that I use with clients is that when we step up to the bar, we want our feet at the same width as if we were to jump as high as possible. This will ensure that our natural positioning is the most optimal for us to be able to drive through the legs with enough power. From there, I'm going to have my grip about thumb width away from my thighs. This is going to make sure that when I lock out, my hands aren't too close or too wide. From here, I'm going to make sure that my back is at a good angle. You can see here, if my back is too high, I'll be doing another variation of a deadlift, or my legs will be locked out way before my hips. If I'm too far back and my knees are too bent, my weight is behind the bar, which means I'll have to probably deviate that bar path as I do my rep. If I hit that perfect spot, where my back's at a slight angle, my shoulders are slightly in front of the bar, it means I can drive through my legs, through my glutes, and my hips lock out at the same time as my legs, which means the timing will be perfect. So when it comes to driving through our legs, I like to think about the first part of the movement not as a pull, but as a push. Stay with me, I know it's a bit confusing, but just think, if we drive through our legs, it stops us from yanking the bar and pulling with our upper body too much, with our legs passively just being there for support. So just think, when we start the movement, push that ground away from you with your legs, and that will hopefully make you feel stronger with the bar. Okay, I'm going to lock my shoulders back, get myself into my comfortable position, drive through my legs, and reach lockout by fully getting my hips through. Now, as I said, it's extremely important that we don't yank the bar. A good tip is taking the slack out of the bar. So if you hear this noise, it means that you should have enough initial pressure to then pick that bar up nice and safely. As I said, it's important that our natural starting position is found every single time. You'll see whether you're off if your hips shoot up too early or if your shoulders move back or forward when you start the lift. A good tip is to maybe film yourself doing the reps so that you can see this happen in real time. If you see that your position deviates as you go through your reps, you know that your starting position is slightly off. So just make sure that you're being nice and accurate, having fun whilst you're doing it, and testing yourself. If you can keep an eye on yourself whilst you're doing your reps, or you have a coach to help you, then you'll be sure to get into the right position every time. Okay, hopefully this helps, and catch you in the next video.